Well, welcome to the 700 Club, the weaponization of government. It's a new subcommittee in the House headed by Representative Jim Jordan. Its purpose is to protect First Amendment rights.
Well, the Department of Justice, the FBI, and other agencies are in the crosshairs of this new committee. CBN Capitol Hill correspondent Matt Galka spoke with the chairman to learn more.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy named 12 Republicans to this subcommittee, established in part thanks to the negotiations that helped land him the Speaker's gavel. I spoke with the incoming committee chairman, Ohio Republican Jim Jordan, on what they hope to accomplish.
If you think about in the last couple years, every right we enjoy as Americans under the First Amendment has been attacked. Your right to practice your faith, your right to assemble, your right to petition the government, freedom of press, freedom of speech.
Jordan sees the new panel focusing on the Justice Department, FBI, and other agencies he believes have gone after conservative Americans under the Biden administration. The committee will have wide-ranging authority. Jordan lists the treatment of parents by school boards, social media censorship, and investigations into former President Donald Trump as likely issues on the docket.
We don't want a political justice department because if you have a political justice department, this great country, the greatest country ever, America is not America if you have a justice department that's political. And that's scary, and so many Americans now think it is. And you've seen the different treatment of Trump versus how Clinton and Biden are treated. You see it time and time again.
To Democrats, the committee is an opportunity for Republicans to air grievances, partly because of how the Democrat-led January 6th committee carried out its investigation into Trump's role in the post-election riot.
It's my expectation that we will be actively involved in pushing back against any efforts to obstruct justice through the weaponization subcommittee, or to protect insurrectionists through the weaponization of government subcommittee.
How do you avoid, I guess, in the eyes of a voter, this not just being a GOP revenge tour and rather actually getting substantial work done?
They made it personal. We're making it about the American people. We think there should be equal justice, equal treatment under the law. We think that's a hallmark of our system. We think you should not favor one political persuasion over the other. We think that when you have pro-life activists exercising their constitutional right, they should be given the same treatment as anyone on the left. But we don't see that.
Democrats are expected to seat 9 members to the Republicans' 12. House Minority Leader Jeffries said those members should be named soon. Matt Galka, CBN News.
Well, we'll keep you posted on the activities of this committee, but clearly there seems to be a bias coming out of our federal government, and whether it's abortion protesters or at the state government level, what they're doing against a baker in Colorado, these things we absolutely need someone to say, no, you're unequally enforcing the laws. In other news, new details are coming to light about the investigation into President Biden's mishandling of classified documents. John Jessup has more on that story from our CBN News Bureau in Washington. John?
That is right, Gordon. Reports that the FBI searched the offices of a think tank bearing the president's name last fall is raising questions. Agents reportedly searched the Penn Center, or the Penn Biden Center in Washington in mid-November. That search came after lawyers found about 10 classified documents in the former office of the president earlier that month. The White House has made several statements since the discovery of the documents, but the FBI search of the center had not been disclosed. It is unclear whether any additional classified material surfaced at the time. Well, President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy meet today for the first time since Republicans took over the House in January. The main topic, how to come to an agreement on raising the debt ceiling. House Republicans want the administration to say yes to spending cuts and balanced budgets. The White House wants Republicans to pledge they will never allow the United States to default on its bills. The debt limit, the amount of money the government can legally borrow to fund its programs, currently sits at $36 trillion. That cap reached 2 weeks ago. The Treasury Department has instituted what it calls extraordinary measures to keep the money flowing to crucial programs until June. Well, turning now to the 2024 presidential race, Nikki Haley, the former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations during the Trump administration, is expected to announce her candidacy later this month. In 2021, Haley said she would not run against President Trump. According to Fox News, Trump recently told reporters Haley called him to discuss a presidential bid and he told her to, quote, go by her heart. Haley, also a former governor of South Carolina, reportedly will make her announcement in Charleston on February 15th. Well, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken departed Israel Tuesday, but left behind two top aides. Blinken's senior diplomat to the Middle East and his envoy to the Palestinians are to help both sides work towards lowering tensions after an escalation of violence. After meeting with Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas, Blinken said the PA needs to do more to improve its governance and accountability. He also reiterated the Biden administration's commitment to the goal of establishing a Palestinian state.
The United States will continue to oppose anything that puts that goal further from reach, including, but not limited to, settlement expansion, legalization of illegal outposts, move towards annexation of the West Bank, disruption to the historic status quo on Jerusalem's holy sites, demolitions and evictions, and incitement and acquiescence to violence.
Blinken is also pledging another $50 million in aid to help settle Palestinian refugees. Well, despite challenges and threats to their own homeland, Israelis are standing up for the people of Iran. Protesters inside the Islamic Republic have gained worldwide support as their calls to overthrow the regime enter the fourth month. As CBN's Chris Mitchell shows us, one effort supporting their cry for freedom is in Jerusalem.
This mural hanging in a Jerusalem neighborhood is intended to send a message of Israeli solidarity with the women of Iran.
Well, the purpose of the mural is to bring awareness to what's happening in Iran. There are murals all around the world right now, but this mural in Jerusalem is head and shoulders, in my opinion, above all the rest, because it's important for me to show the world that the Jews, the Israelis, are standing with the Iranian people fighting for freedom.
The idea began in San Francisco after Iranian-American filmmaker Houman Halili helped create a mural supporting Iranian protesters that went viral on Instagram. It caught the attention of Jerusalem Deputy Mayor Flor Hassan Nahum, who organized Israel's first demonstration supporting the people of Iran.
We felt that it was only right to do something in their honor so that they can hear our voices of support.
The 21 by 15 portable banner carries the slogan, Women, Life, Freedom, and highlights 4 of the women murdered by the Islamic regime during this revolution.
The women who are basically the frontline warriors of a war in Iran.
The artist draws the connection of women and their hair because Iran's so-called morality police killed Mashar Amini for exposing part of her hair, sparking this national movement and international support. Also, it's the women of Iran taking the lead in the protest.
And the women are the ones ripping off their hijabs. They're standing in the streets, they're fighting, they're risking life and limb, literally risking life and limb.
Now, nearly 4 months into this revolt, the regime is executing more protesters. And yet, Khalili feels the protests are still not getting the attention they deserve.
Right now, the Western media isn't really covering this. And my hope and prayer is that the U.S. will follow Israel's lead and say, look, we need to cover this. We need to, at least in the media and the press, support the Iranian people.
Halili says many do not realize the ancient bond between Israel and Persia, modern-day Iran.
Biblically speaking, there was a time where Israel and Persia, the Persian Empire, now Iran, were close. They were friends. They supported one another, and they loved one another. And I want that to return. I want Iran to support Israel and Israel to support Iran.
Well, we stand with the people of Iran because we stand for human rights everywhere in the world. We stand for freedoms everywhere in the world. But secondly, Iran is in our region. This is our neighborhood. And we have a country that is not only subjugating, murdering its people, it's murdering people in the entire region.
Halili and Hassan Nahum hope this is just the first of many murals in Jerusalem and throughout Israel.
Once the Persian people, the Iranian people, see this mural is standing in Jerusalem, I think it's going to melt heart and open eyes.
And I hope and I pray that those women in Iran hear our voices loud and clear. We are with them, women, life, freedom.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Gordon, Chris's reporting is a reminder of Israel's biblical call to be a light to the nations.
It is, and it's also a reminder to us in free democracies that we need to support the Iranian people. And on this program, we're going to do just that. We're not going to let this protest fade into memory. We all need to recognize that under an Islamic republic, women do not have freedom. Religious police, they literally murdered a woman for exposing her hair. And I just can't imagine that happening, but it happened. And we need to stand with the women of Iran. We need to stand with women throughout the Muslim world and say, no, what is happening to you is absolutely oppressive. It shouldn't happen in today's world. You need to be free and you need to be equal. Ashley?
Can I just say that I absolutely love the rallying cry from that revolution, which is women, life, freedom.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes and amen.